guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reacting to a video called Schalke Fans Go Crazy in the Streets of Manchester. So I think Schalke is a sports team. I think they're a football soccer team, a German soccer team. I know what they're doing in Manchester. Probably they were playing as visitors, but they go crazy. So I'm a little scared. I know that Germans are very passionate about this sport. But let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe. Okay, this is already quite intense. Oh my god. Why are they? Okay, they're fighting. What? Okay, what's up with this person running? Oh my god, they're yelling. What, is it a war cry? What is this? Oh! This is awesome! I love it. I want to jump as well. Oh, I would love to know what they're saying. I love everyone just sort of. They're walking. Oh my god, okay. Okay, for 1 second, I had no idea what was happening. Well, I'm a little unclear. I still do not know what happened. But I love it. I thought they go crazy. I think that made me scared because I was thinking, oh my god, they're going to do crazy things in the city. They're going to go wild. But no, they were just quite normal. I mean, normal-ish. I think I think how people act, I think in a certain situation, as in this case, I am assuming, again, I don't know if it was, do they have, is that the Euros, right? Maybe they were the Euros or some other sort of sports competition. I think when people, that is very important. I mean, in levels of importance, maybe it was a big deal. It wasn't simply, a friendly game. I know they had those sometimes. This maybe was about, it was a tournament, so people were a little, well, we want to support our team. And we traveled all the way because this was in Manchester. So of course, they traveled all the way there and they wanted to support their team. But my point is that how people act in sports tournaments, whether, that is, I think specifically, I think it happens in all kinds of sports, but I think in football specifically, people act a certain way. They're just very excited. They get very, everything's very intense. They get very emotional and they have to have, they need to let out those emotions in a certain manner. Sometimes it's good as this, they're just yelling and they're singing and they're jumping up and down. Sometimes they get a little, people destroy things, but I think that's probably that's after they lose, right? It's no, or maybe if they win, I have no idea. Maybe this was maybe they were celebrating. I don't have context to know whether this was a celebration because they won, or this was sort of riling them up and they were supporting them before the game started and they were sort of they're showing their support. But again, how people act in those kind of situations, specifically in football, it's quite different, I think, from how people act in their daily lives. I think it's just it's just a sport. I think sports are a very emotional thing. People get really invested in those things. So, when it comes to tournaments and again, serious things, not just a friendly game. So it's very intense and things, emotions are running high and people just get very, you'll probably act in a certain way, especially, because again, you're surrounded by, it's a folie à dos, but not really. But it's just a sentiment of you're surrounded by all those people that share the same emotion as you, and you feel a kinship with them. Whether or not, obviously, you don't know them. I don't think you have to know them, but it's just again you're sort of supporting the same cause, and because that everyone that's there supporting your team has the same sense of, I don't know, responsibility, but just the same I don't know, because again, the responsibility is sort of a harsh word, but I don't know, it's just the sense of they all love the same thing, and you know that all these people that are surrounding you, they also love the same thing as you do, and they love it, they love it just as much. So of course you have to feel a little bit of, oh yeah, I don't know you, but for this, I don't know, for this afternoon, you're my brother, you're my friend, because again, we're all supporting the same cause, and I know that, the emotions that I feel are, you're feeling them as well. So I think it's a beautiful thing, but again, it's sort of something that happens in this sort of environment that probably wouldn't happen otherwise in other certain situations. And again, you act in a way that you probably wouldn't act in your normal life. But it's funny that they're being, they were courted. I don't know why. I saw some police officers. It's really funny how they were just sort of standing there. But again, obviously, if you're a police officer, I don't think you're obviously not allowed to be all, yeah, I'm rooting for you guys. No, of course that, and of course, if they're in England, they're going to be supporting the Manchester side. They're not going to support the British side. They're not going to support the German side. But it's really funny how they were sort of being courted, and then I think they were sort of, I don't know, moving to somewhere else. I think probably they were moving to the stadium, and this was sort of the the place where they decided to, hey, let's join here. I know, let's march over there. This is the reunion, or the point of convergence. I have no idea. Maybe it was starting, before the start of the game, and they were sort of entering the stadium at the same time. I think it must feel very nice, I think, for players to be, to be shown, I think, that level of support. I think it's really nice. And as for the whole sort of, acting crazy, I didn't thought they were acting that crazy. I think it was just nice. Obviously I'm not, I would have liked to join in. That's, probably, I don't know if I would. Again, I don't know what kind of specific circumstances would make me, join this, I don't know, this rally. But I would also love to. I think it would be very fun. I think, again, it's very contagious. I think maybe if you're not really, maybe this is not your team. Obviously, if you're from an opposing team, this doesn't apply. But if you're just sort of very, I don't know, you're maybe, I don't know, I'm neutral about this. There are two teams that I'm not really, I'm not super invested in one of them. But so I'm not gonna be, I hope you guys lose. No, but I think it could be very nice, I think, to be a part of this, just because, again, it's sort of a contagious feeling, and this is what I get with the whole Folie à Dos. This is all, again, you're acting in ways that you probably wouldn't act in your normal life, but this whole thing is just very contagious, and it's making you feel, I feel the emotion, I feel, the love, the passion. It's really, I think it would be very nice. And again, they're not acting because for 1 second, I thought they were going to start fighting. I was, oh my God, why are they fighting? Aren't they, for 1 second, I thought, it's the Manchester side and the Schalke fans. But no, it was all both them. So I don't know why they were separated, but then I understood, it's a whole thing instead of a theater thing, a play thing. I feel like I'm in a theater and I'm seeing a play. It's all like choreography, it involves, and obviously the chants as well. Everyone knows it, of course, and you have the drums and stuff. So I love it. It's just very nice. But yeah, for 1 second there, I got kind of scared because I was thinking, oh my God, it's gonna get physical. They're gonna get aggressive. They're fighting. I don't know why they're fighting, but no, it wasn't a fight. It was a play fight. I think it's just so that again, as if you're going. It's really funny because to me, this is the modern equivalent to maybe going to war, as in when ancient tribes were going to war, and maybe not wars, but when they were, they were having battles and stuff. I imagine it was something like this, and this is probably the closest thing we have to that, because you have the whole ceremonial part of things, as in you have the drums, you have the musicians that are setting the scene. They're trying to because again, music is very powerful, so it really gives you the whole it's pumping my blood, it's making me it's putting me in the mood. And then you have the whole where the chants, as in obviously I don't really know the chant for this particular team, but obviously again, chants are always, as in you're encouraging your team. So again, it's just the battle thing, the battle cries, and of course you also have, I'm gonna guess, you also have their battle cries. So it's kind of very similar, I would assume. Obviously I wasn't alive to witness those ancient battles, but I imagine it must have been something like this, very similar. I think the spirit and at least in spirit, I think that element of those tribes fighting each other are still alive in a way in this, when it comes to sporting events, and the teams are doing this, and I think it's really beautiful. I love it. It's just very, again, it's really nice, I think, to see a show of support for something again as beautiful as sports, because I think sports really do calm, maybe they also, you can get into a lot of fights as well, but I think ultimately it's because you're fighting against someone that again shares the same sentiment as you and shares the same passion as you. So it's really nice to see people sort of join together by the same passion and by something that a hobby that makes them so passionate, and to this level. I think it's really lovely to see. And yeah, I would have loved to see this in person. I think I would have joined in. I don't know if I would have been allowed, because I would probably have to know the chants and stuff, but I think it would be quite nice maybe to just experience it from afar, because I think it's gonna be, if it's contagious just seeing it through a screen, I can't imagine how it would feel to actually be in person in one of those things. It must feel that and tenfold. I would love that. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.